in the wake of the recent attacks in Gwer West and neighboring Akpa local government area. Can you tell us about the extent of destruction and displacement that you and your people have suffered?
Surely, my local government is an epicenter of the Holocaust and the genocide attacks. It is very devastating. It started on 8th of February 2011, and it has lingered on up to date. But the attacks have taken a multi-dimension, and the bandits in my domain, they have a motley of personnel, and the wall is asymmetrical, it's amorphous. These people, they come as herders with their animals, graze on every available crops cultivated, chase out the natives. Another group will move in with the aim, and their aim is to occupy and maim and kill. Another one comes in and carry out the work of kidnapping and keeping people into their kidnapped cells and taking huge amount of money as ransom. As a result, I have lost concomitantly for a period of 15 years, 676 persons into the hands of these marauding killer herdsmen. As I talk to you, one cannot traverse the Makudi Naka road, which is just within a distance of 40 kilometers. The bandits are everywhere, stationed on several spots to commit mayhem. Along the line, if you move from a local government headquarters to a satellite town called Agagbe, on the northeastern direction, bordering Doma LGA in Nasarawa State, which I describe as axis of evil, because the people, the killer herdsmen, the terrorists, the insurgents, move from Doma local government that has a conterminous and contiguous borders with me, and unleash the havoc on my people. You cannot move on Naka Agagbe Road with just a 15-kilometer road distance. Similarly, you cannot equally ply on Naka Tarako Road with just 40 kilometers. And also within a short distance between my local government and Idoma local government, that is Agatu and Otukpo local government, within Adoka axis, you cannot, because the bandits have taken siege of the entire axis of the road I've just enumerated. Okay. It's a pitiable situation. I am in charge of 15 council wards that constitute, or you call them districts, you call them wards, that made up the local government. All of us are pushed, and we are now living in desolate camps within the headquarters.
Well, it's quite a pitiable, situation, Your Royal Highness, and we commiserate with you on that. Now, but your own palace and the homes of other prominent leaders were burnt by angry youths in March. How do you respond, to the accusations that traditional rulers and political leaders have failed to protect the people?
Our duty is to shield our people. Our duty is to advise government. And we are not granted constitutional powers, which we have been crying for decades. We can only bark, but we can't bite. As a result, the situation in my local government, as relates to the civil disturbance of March 11, that occasioned the burning of my palace and extensions and other individuals has to do with some restive youth. Yes, the reasons are not far-fetched. They thought maybe I have the powers to direct the security personnel to do what they want. Well, I don't have such powers. My own is to advise the government. And to the best of my knowledge, I've not only stopped at advising, I've been even writing humble appeal to government at the federal. And I can assure you that our governor responded positively and took pragmatic steps in curtailing the excesses of the killings within my local government. But the youth, among them, some could behave very animalistic, and such was what happened. And I don't even blame them because they are hungry, they have been pushed away from their localities, and they are living in desolate camps, IDP, scattered across the local government for a number of years. The Holocaust in my local government lasts for 15 years. All that happens in Benue started from my local government. As I told you earlier, on 8th of February 2011, and has lingered on to date. We're only signed a moment of respite now that we have a governor that is having, the ears of the people and also listening to their yearnings and aspirations. And he has moved in, and we are now beginning to see light at the end of the tunnel. For the youths, I have given them my pardon. I granted them pardon. Okay. Because they acted as hungry people. An angry person or a hungry person, as what people say, is not a friendly person.
Okay.
So let us engage them meaningfully.
Now, you talked about, having not having the powers to direct security personnel. Speak to us more on this and on your assessment of the military and police's response, during the attacks, during and after the attacks, by the way. How have security forces done, or do you think that they've done enough to secure Gwer West?
Yes, the security personnel are doing their best, but they need to do more. Because from my own assessment and collective assessment of my people, we watch over security personnel, their role in curtailing this. But remember, the military itself is not trained to mediate in internal wrangling or internal affairs. They are trained to defend the territorial integrity of the nation. The police has the primary duty in doing that. We in Nigeria, we are only overstretching the military. That's not even their primary role. To us here in Gwer West, we can assess them, we can give them their pass mark, but they need to do more because some of them have derived what I would describe as occupational relief in their areas of assignment. That is, there is need for the authority concerned that looks after them to be rejigging the personnel within intervals in order not to allow them slip or slide into occupational relief where they have tendencies of compromising what they have been brought actually to do. And advise that I think that has been done now when the chief of Army Staff came to Benue. We have seen, steps he has taken in rejigging the personnel. Like those in my local government have been moved, and I've seen some of them moving out today, another group coming in. That's the best because don't allow a military person or a security person to stay in a place where there's crisis for up to 3 years without rejigging them. That will not, give a better result. And I think that has been heeded too. And to us in Benue and to us in Gwer West, we would prefer the situation where the police who are trained to maintain and intervene in issues like civil disturbances should be given that ample opportunity, But where we have cases of insurgency, banditry, the military can be, deployed in, as the current situation in Gwer West is absolute terrorism.
All right, if you can hear me now, moving forward, what is your honest submission to the federal government and Benue State authorities, especially on what must be done to bring lasting peace to Gwer West and similar communities under threat?
I have to appreciate President Bola Tinubu for allowing the issue of forest gas to be a reality in place of, maybe I don't think it is in place of the what we intended doing the state police, but that has come to stay, to be. I applaud him for that. We will queue in communities where such things, such crises exist, should queue into that and then recruit their youths into forest gas to offer self-defense of their places. And one thing we must do is that we must tackle this case, this issue of invasion of communities by armed bandits or armed criminals across the nation by taking decisive action in closing up our borders with proper and effective monitoring of our borders to secure our borders.
All right.
In order to prevent these people who must, at most we can say they are not Nigerians.
Yeah. All right,
to stop their migration into Nigeria. And also on our home front, we must devise internal mechanism of dealing with this situation. Most particular, security personnel deployed to handle issues of this nature should keep to their rules of engagement.
Your Highness, sadly we have to wrap up this conversation here, but thank you so much for your time and for speaking on this.